Oops. Hi, everyone. How's it going? Whoa, our lights just flickered.
That was a little creepy.
Oh, my gosh. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our show. You're watching Movie Couple Live, where we talk about the latest in movie news and pop culture. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And welcome to our live stream. Happy Wednesday, you guys. And today we'll be talking about the new trailer for the newish trailer, I guess, for Justice League the Snyder Cut.
We're also going to be looking at a little sneak peek at Chaos Walking.
And of course, photos from Disney's Star Wars Hotel. I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but there we have it, and so much more. So we've got a very fun, it's funny because like sometimes we go weeks, with very little news, and then when news hit, they all hit.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm looking at my
Feast or
Discord, a feast or famine, and when it rains, it pours. Because I go through our Discord, and thanks to our movie bunch, which is all of you that are watching, they always put such great, like our own little reporters, our own little reporting team, journalists, always dropping news in there. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. And I was like, this is going to be a 3-hour show. And then I start like, cut. So anyways, we're glad you guys are here. We hope you're having a good day. Wendy just discovered that now that we are halfway through November, we went to the store and I know this existed, but I just never thought to buy it. And what prompted this was that Starbucks here in the US, or at least in California, I really don't know about the other states, for their holiday drinks, they used to have like 2 or 3 years ago, the gingerbread latte, which was like
really good.
My go-to. And they decided that they wanted to like cancel it and they don't have it anymore. So I'm a little butthurt about not having. What is so funny about that?
Nothing. I just know how important your lattes are.
What is it? A butt? Is it the word butt?
The fact that you said butthurt, I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I just wasn't expecting you to say that.
I am butthurt. They took that out, and so now we have, and they replaced it with, I think it's the chestnut praline latte, which, no shade, it's actually not bad, but it's no gingerbread latte.
It's no gingerbread.
It's no gingerbread latte. So we went to the store today, and I was like, okay, if I can find like gingerbread syrup or gingerbread creamer, then that's fine. Then it'll taste kind of similar. There's
You'll get
none.
your fix for the winter. And
I couldn't find any of it. And I'm like, what is it with people? Like, what do you have against gingerbread? What is it? So I settled for the pumpkin spice. It's actually called pumpkin pie spice creamer. It's probably like all the fake sugar and all the chemical stuff that you probably shouldn't have, but you know what, it's delicious and I'm gonna have it. And now I have my own little pumpkin spice latte, which is still no gingerbread, but that is the long-winded way of how we got there, I guess. And also the Starbucks next to us, like really, really close walking distance, have temporarily closed, and I'm just like, I need my coffee. Not that I can't make it at home, not that I don't have enough K-cups and coffee beans and stuff like that at home. And I see that in our Discord. Whoa, okay, so this just in by MK. Thank you for MK for putting this in our Discord. So according to Deadline, AMC networks to cut 10% of US workers in streaming focus reorganization. Wow.
That makes sense.
More cutbacks, which is always so sad. I believe I also heard that NBC Universal is also doing some cutbacks. I'm not sure exactly which department it is, but it's just it just makes me really, really, really sad. So guys, that just, I don't even know what to say. Like, it sucks. I mean, we're in similar situations, like,
we've been
know how much it sucks to get laid off.
We've been cut pretty much since the beginning of this pandemic, huh?
Oh God. Okay. Anyways, what's new on our channel? We have a new trailer reaction for the Tom and Jerry movie,
which actually looks a lot cuter than I'd anticipated.
Yes.
I was kind of like expecting it to be like, almost like Smurfs level of what? Why are you doing this kind of a thing?
But they went, and I kind of went back and rewatched it. I'm happy that they didn't choose to do like a 3D rendering.
Yeah.
And they stuck with the 2D instead. And then it looks better in the 2D rather than the 3D.
And it did really give me a lot more of Who Framed Roger Rabbit vibes than like Smurfs vibes kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm I'm willing to watch it. You know,
Willing
this
to
seems
watch
kind
it.
of fun. I'm going to hear some reviews about it, and
Yeah.
then we'll probably stream it or something once it comes out.
And welcome to a new viewer, Nathan. Welcome to the
Hey,
stream. Welcome, welcome. And everybody's letting me know in the chat, Galactic Star Cruise is the correct official name.
The Galactic Star Cruiser.
The Galactic Star Cruise, which we'll be talking about in just a little bit. We also have Dustin and I were doing a photo shoot. You guys heard about this past Sunday for fan wraps. And lots of fun. The all will be revealed on Monday, which I'll be posting. But we've been posting sneak peeks on, I think it's just my social media that we've been doing it. So
you have all the cool pictures, so
that's true. And I think
if you want to give me a few couple pictures, I can post them up.
I will airdrop them to you. But yeah, it's for fan wraps. Super fun collection that's coming up for all your TTRPG nerds out there. This is the one to keep your eyes on. And also, if you guys want, I just remember this. I do have a promo code for fan wraps. It's just Wendy Lee Zaney. And I can't remember how much you get off. It's like 10 or I just said TTRPG.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of works. But anyways, if you see anything you like on the website, you can use my code, which is just my name, Wendy Lee Zaney, no space. And you get a little bit of a discount. Yeah. So let's see what else. I had other announcements too. Nope, that was it. Okay, so I see we have a Chris's choice.
Woohoo!
We have Jack says, "Yay, 3-hour show." We would be so tired. Actually,
by the end of it, we just be like.
Last night I did a stream playing Animal Crossing on my Twitch channel, and it was 2.5 hours, and it didn't feel like it.
When you're playing games and streaming, I think the time can go by a lot faster.
That's
because
true.
you're interacting with the people that are watching you, and you're playing your game, and with Animal Crossing, you actually get to interact a lot more with the people that you get to go. You went to someone's island.
I went to some people
came to your island.
It's the same person.
Oh, okay.
But it's the first time I actually did an island visit with someone that's outside of my immediate friend circle. So it was a little bit like, oh god, what? But and this person was so nice. Kaiju was the username, and like gifted me so many bells, 2.1 million bells to be exact, as well as like a whole new kitchen unit for my house. I was just thrilled. And then I got rated for the first time last night. I was like, what is all this good stuff is happening? So a lot of you were there witnessing that. So thank you so much for being a part of it. Now let's go ahead and go on to Chris's choice before we dive into news flash and all that.
This is going to be a painful one.
Okay, so, oh no, one must go. Chris's choice, when he does a one must go, it's always hard. I don't know how he comes up with it. Okay, here we go. One must go. Space Mountain, Thunder Mountain, the Matterhorn, or Splash Mountain. If I had to choose, I say the Matterhorn to go.
Oh.
To go.
Okay, so yeah, it's which one do you want to kick out? I don't know.
That's actually not a hard choice for me.
Oh, you know right off the top of your head which one?
Yeah. Splash Mountain.
That was mine. That was mine. I was sitting here going, you know, I love space.
It has nothing to do with the theme, okay? It has nothing to do with that. It's just that typically we don't go on the water rides, not because we don't like them. We love them, but we have a short amount of times when we go, and it's usually only during the summer because I get cold too easily. If my shoes get wet, I'm gonna bitch and moan the entire time, or have to buy new socks and new shoes. And I just don't want to deal with like walking around with like wet clothes. So if we go, it has to be a moderately hot day and the last ride we do, so we can just go to the car and take off all the wet clothes.
And just be like, all right.
And that is the reason why it's on our list to chop. It's actually not because the ride is bad or anything. Like, it's a fun ride, and I know they're retheming it. And
that's something I was just about ready to say. I'm kind of like, actually, out of all of these mountains, it's Splash Mountain that is actually going to be chopped by Disney. So it's kind of an appropriate question when you really think about it.
Oh man. Let's see what some of you guys are saying too. Space Mountain, says Nathan.
Well, you know, I mean, I guess since you really don't get to see anything inside Space Mountain, it's kind of just like a pitch black roller coaster.
Excuse me, but Space Mountain is awesome, especially during Halloween when it's Ghost Galaxy.
I loved it too when they did the Hyperspace Mountain.
Oh,
and
wait,
there were moments where you actually had the
pew, 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 pew. Isn't that how it is right now?
No, I think it's just normal Space Mountain right now.
It doesn't have the pew-pews?
I don't think so. I wonder if they ever thought of doing, you know, they have the Halloween one but I wonder if they ever had like a Christmas theme one where you're like Santa's sleigh going through Space Mountain.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
Santa doesn't just do presents to Earth, he does presents to all of the planets.
It's a dash to meet the deadline of Christmas, and we can have little animations because they project animations and stuff.
Christmas
We can have
Mountain.
the little elves from Prep and Landing,
Mm-hmm.
and then they can just like phew, and then they fly with you, and then they can like blast out snowflakes. I don't know.
But I love, I mean, out of the four mountains, Big Thunder Mountain and the Matterhorn are just two of the ones that have always kind of been there, the ones that I love going on.
Yes. Matterhorn, if you guys have gone, it's only available, I believe, here at Disneyland. Florida does not have it. And I was very excited. And I think Matterhorn was like my favorite ride for a while because I'm a Florida native. So love Disney World, love all the theme parks there. But I've always wanted to check out the Matterhorn because it just looked really cool, like the silhouette of the mountain and everything like that. Are we sounding okay?
Yeah, just wanted to double check.
So when you guys, if you guys have gone to the Matterhorn in Disneyland, do you guys go to the left track or the right track?
Oh.
Dustin and I always go left.
Go to the left.
Always go left. So the ride, for the right track, we heard that it's more smooth.
Mm-hmm. And it's also
a little bit longer.
That's also what they recommend. If I'm not mistaken, the right track is a little bit smoother, and it's also a little less scary because there's less appearances of the abominable abominable snowman,
no Yeti,
Bigfoot Yeti. So usually, if you have like kids that are just at the height for Matterhorn,
they're at like the training wheel.
They're like, go over to that side. That's the side you want to go.
No, break them in, put them in front of the Yeti, front row. Traumatized, crying, never coming back again. I remember my aunt told me this. So I was, I think 8 or 9 when I went to Disney World for the very first time, traveling from Taiwan. And we went, and for my very first roller coaster, my aunt's like, let's go to Space Mountain. I was like, okay, not knowing what it was at all about, put me in the front row and everything. And I was having so much fun. And then, you know, that dip, the dip came, obviously you can't see the tracks and I was so little, I just didn't know. So the dip came and I went, ah, and I did the scream, and my aunt was she said she was having so much fun up until the point I screamed, and then she was silent. She was like, oh God, did I break her? And then we got off. She was like, are you okay? And I was like, I want to go again. She was like, okay, we'll go again.
Yeah, my mom tricked me. I was scared to go on Montezuma's Revenge at Knott's Berry Farm.
What's that one?
It's the one it's the yellow one that all you do is that you start and it's like just like a it shoots you off. You do a loop, you go up, you do the loop again, and then you come back and then you go. That's all it is. But yeah, it's my mom was like, oh, you can just sit here next to me, and then if you don't want to go on, you don't have to. She sat down, clicked the thing in, and we left. And I was like, ah!
That's savage.
And then that's how she broke me of being afraid of roller coasters.
Oh, that's savage.
My mom, that's how my mom parented.
Amazing.
It was like, oh, it's okay, sit down. There we're going. Boom.
Look, there's, sometimes
don't have time to be afraid anymore.
Sometimes you got at least, how long's the ride? Like a minute, maybe 45 seconds.
It's really short.
Like, sometimes that's how you do it. It's like, well, by the time you start crying, the ride's over, and you don't have time to think about it anymore. True Choice Story, welcome to the stream. We're so glad you're here and hope you're having break all the legs on all of your self-tapes and auditions and things like that. That's amazing. All right, so moving on to since we're talking about like Disney and rides and things like that, why don't we jump ahead to now? I wrote the Star Wars idea. Hotel. I know it's what is it? The
Galactic Cruiser.
Thank you. So it's too late to change it, I guess. So we're just gonna stick with it. But hey, there are some awesome photos that has been revealed. So we'll put some
real photos, not just concept drawing.
Concept art.
And I was like, ooh, when
Justin showed these to me yesterday.
And I thought this was kind of cool. I'm a little curious on how, like, normally how family hotels work at Disney, and having like the kids' beds and the parents' beds in the same room. I'm also wondering if this is a way. These are like one of the cheaper rooms too.
Is it? I'm assuming this is cheaper than like $500.
I'm saying
a night.
Cheaper, as in cheap for the Disneyland, the brand new Star Wars hotel that's coming. That's coming. So
Yeah.
for this is one of their cheap rooms, so to speak, to where they have one bed. You get one bed, and that's probably it. That's one bed, the two kid beds, the two bunks, and then there's the bathroom. And so this is a way to actually be able to fit the whole family in a smaller space. So that means you can have more rooms like this. But if you look at the door, it looks like it's actually a sliding door, which I hope.
You mean the main entrance door?
The main entrance. Well, the door, that's the gray door that's all the way in the back.
So you can see my eye on the side.
So I'm wondering if you take your card, you can tap it and the door goes.
That would be amazing if they made that transition. I would absolutely love it. And I love that the look, and they're calling it the Galactic Cruiser, Star Cruiser, right?
Mm-hmm.
It actually really does give me a vibe of like if you were to go on a cruise ship.
Yes.
Like this is kind of what the cabin would look like. Granted, it's much bigger than your standard cruise cabin, unless you paid for one of the big balcony, suites. So it looks roomier than that, but honestly, like the theming and everything looks really, really cool. There's also another photo that I'll put up right here. And this is just the other side of the same room. And honestly, I feel like I want to sleep in the bunk bed. Why sleep on a regular bed when you can sleep in the bunk bed? And I like how they kind of did the television and sort of a fake window that you can look out.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, one of the concepts for for the hotel is the fact that you will go into the check-in station, and then you'll go to an elevator or a room that's made to look like an elevator, and it feels like you're being rocketed up to the spaceship. And then while you're there,
hotel and a ride.
Yeah. So while you're there, you are completely immersed and making it, all the windows make it look like you're looking out on space. It makes it look like and feel like you're really on a star cruiser.
And so I am like,
you can get a job there.
Like that.
You can be, and you can interact with all of the people that work there are also actors, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And you can
like Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
You're role playing the whole time, and you're just in this. For all the TTRPG players out there, this is, I mean, it's going to be expensive. It's not going to be cheap for sure. But I think if you're a big Star Wars fan and you want like the super immersive experience, this is something to save up for.
Yes. And
go do. And something definitely that's on our bucket list to do. So we're going to have to just start saving and book the cheapest room possible.
They were also saying that
but there's only two of us.
The hotel is an experience in itself.
Yes.
And you can actually buy different jobs. So in other words, you're kind of like buying ranks.
Pay to play?
No, ranks kind of a thing.
Right, but
so
like essentially like a pay to play, because the higher the job rank, the more like activities and things like that you get to do, right?
Yes.
I'm assuming you go up at like if you buy like officer or something like that.
And what is it? Someone just said, I lost it. It was somewhere about droids.
Jack says, and now we need droids.
And actually, if I'm not mistaken, there will be droids all over the.
Seriously?
From what I've heard, at least.
Wow.
Or from what I've actually read from some older articles.
That's amazing.
It just sounded so incredibly awesome, with all of the different immersive activities, with all of the immersive characters, and all of the different things that you can do. Like you could go there, spend 2 days there, and it would be like, actually, like, you don't need to go to Disneyland.
Yeah, I mean, if I was paying that much money, I wouldn't even go unless you really want to, like after when you check out, and you come back to Earth. And according to the article on Delish.com, it says during this epic 2-day, 2-night experience, you'll have a chance to learn how to wield a lightsaber, hang out in the glamorous Silver Sea Lounge, sneak into the engineering room, and choose how to move along in your adventure. And that's where it gets me, is talking about like adventure and things like that. And that's kind of what I really, really want, which is really, really awesome. Yeah.
It's like, what is it? There's this role-playing theme park that I've talked to you that I really wanted to go there.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah.
To where it's actually, you get a dress, if you want, you can dress up. You can get different costumes,
Jedi,
and you can just walk around. And
can you bring your own? Do you have to buy or rent their version of it.
I'm pretty sure if you want to wear your own,
some in
you just have to wear like a badge or some kind of identification. But it just looks amazing.
100% dress up in like a dark gray.
100%.
100%. I just have to make it because I have regular gray, but I don't have dark gray. And to Arekusu Songu, yes, we are going live. It is not pre-recorded, so welcome. Nope. Yeah, this is like super worth, I think, whatever money you decide to put into your experience. And if it is in a way like a pay to play sort of a deal, then the more you can save up, the better. And I think for the two of us, luckily we don't have kids, we just have a dog, and Navi probably won't be able to come. Make her a space dog.
Sorry, Navi, you can't be a space dog.
Oh. But yeah, I think for us it'll be just a little bit cheaper than like a family of,
Yeah,
four.
fortunately it's just the two of us, so we don't have to worry about paying for the two kids.
Yeah, we'll just play.
And we will have Navi the space dog.
Navi.
Woof woof.
Woof woof.
There we go.
All right, you guys. Let's see what is next on our news flash segment. So let's talk a little bit about Scream. So Scream 5. The official title has been revealed, and it's just Scream.
Oh.
And at first, I actually kind of hated it because the very first Scream is called Scream. So we are all going to default. Now we have to differentiate Scream 1, Scream 2, 3, 4, 5. Like we're all going to call it Scream 5 regardless.
Yeah.
But then
we'll just call it the second Scream.
The second Scream. Scream 2.0. But then I think it was the executive producer talked about the title and saying that this is a sequel as well as a reboot. So then I guess the titling of the film kind of makes sense if they're kind of it's a follow-up as well as a reboot, which is not an easy job. There's a lot of fans of Scream, I feel like, and so I'm sure they watched through all the movies to create the right story for this 5th installment. And what's really cool is that in one of the photos that he tweeted out, Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox were both in the photo. And of course, we know David Arquette is coming back to the film as well. So that's like really exciting I remember the very first time I saw Scream in theaters, and I had such a blast watching the movie. And then that year, everybody dressed as Ghostface.
Oh yeah, so many Ghostfaces. And then you get so many spoofs. Then you had the but yeah, and also it's the fact that it's what is it? It's having to deal with a copycat or something that's doing the same.
Which one? The
one
of the
one.
Sequel? I
remember seeing something where it showed Neve Campbell and it showed Courtney Cox, and they were just
that would make sense.
Well, and they were also talking about there's a new killer out there, and he's just a copycat kind of a thing.
Oh, right. Yeah. It's kind of like the shape. Is it a copycat or is it the real deal? So, but that either way, I think for the fans, this is something to look forward to, and I trust that they have taken care to go through the stories. They brought some of the original cast back, so it's going to be, I think, a lot of fun. And we're still on this. I had that, but then we didn't we didn't use it. Okay, moving on. We also have, this is not really movie news, or I don't even call it like pop culture news, but Twitter did introduce a new feature called Fleet, which is essentially a copy of Snapchat / which Instagram stole. Instagram stories, and now they have that too. So I actually did, I wasn't so turned off by it. Now I know a lot of people are like, why? And I'm just like, I mean, they all copy each other at this point.
What sucks is that the people who originally thought of the idea just end up getting bought out by the big company. Like, oh, that's a great idea, we're going to copy it, not do it as well, but then buy you out. So then once we have it, then we're just going to copy it and put it into our own program.
I will say the Snapchat filters is still top notch compared to Instagram story. Instagram stories, like filters, I really, they're just okay. It's much better now. I remember the very beginning when it came out, I was like, oh, this is hideous. And then I went back to Snapchat and I would do my Snapchat stories and then I would upload them to Instagram. And now I kind of, use the Instagram ones a little bit more. But the Fleet, the Twitter's version of stories, don't have that capability. You can do everything. You can do text. You can share your own tweets to your Fleet or story, and then you can't even add like little stickers. You know how Instagram you can add
Really?
little stickers. Yeah, so I don't know.
Give it some time. I mean, honestly, like what you said before, it's
They'll
all going to end
improve.
up being the same in the end.
Yes, exactly. But you know, just
Because
thought
they're
that was.
all going to be owned by one company.
But I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing to say. Another interesting thing. Wow. Hey, did you guys see the new Rockefeller Christmas tree? It's very 2020, and I did pull a photo, and it looks like that. I don't know what happened. I don't know if this is a thing with the Rockefeller Center, like the Christmas tree, where they add additional branches to the tree.
Yeah.
But there was a photo, and I didn't pull it, but there was a photo of when the tree was cut, and it was full and luscious, and you can just picture all the twinkly lights on it. And then by the time they put this up and they release the branches, it looked like this. So I don't know if that's something that they do. That they fill it back up with additional branches.
Yeah, this was not on. I don't think it was on purpose either. Since it is very 2020, I'm thinking that this was kind of like, oh my gosh, the tree that we got, we did not know that it had an infestation of kind of bugs, and when they left it there,
is that what it was?
Put it up. I don't know, but I'm.
Oh, you're just okay. You're speculating.
I'm speculating that's just something went wrong, kind of a thing. But it also could just be, hey, no one's coming out to actually look at this.
People are going to go out and look at it.
And it's just the fact that I would think that they would want to put up a big, oh yeah, you can kind of see the differences in the, put up just this big happy, be like, you know what, this year was tough, but we're almost done with it. Let's get through it. Let's just hoof it to the last little leg of this marathon of 2020 that we have.
This little hair.
And it just makes the world just kind of go, 2020 still here.
2020 is our Christmas tree this year is here to remind you of what a complete crap show 2020 has been. And I mean, I can find a little bit of humor in that, but typically the Rockefeller tree is so big, luscious. It's very, very bright. I got to see it in person once and I almost cried. I didn't think it was going to be that massive. And like that, it was so pretty. I took way too many photos in front of it. And I was like, how many photos do you need?
More photos.
The same tree, but just in a different outfit, because I think I was in New York for like 2 or 3 days. And just, when we walked by, I was like, I'll take another photo and another one and another one. But I thought that was really funny and very, very much 2020.
Very true.
All right, you guys, let's go ahead and move on to our main topic. And our very first topic is we get a first look at Chaos Walking. And I know we got the poster. We talked about it on Saturday. Poster is fine. It doesn't tell you much of the story or anything like that. But now IGN gave us the exclusive first look. Not us, but everybody.
Put it up there all on the internet.
Yeah, and here are some of the photos, and we will go through them. And let's go ahead and see. So yeah, IGN got the exclusive first look at Chaos Walking, and this is the movie starring Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley, and they are going to be IGN will be debuting the trailer tomorrow, that is November 19th at 6 a.m. PT, for the trailer, as well as exclusive interviews with Daisy Ridley and Mads Mikkelsen. And of course, Chaos Walking is based on the novel The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness, who also co-wrote the screenplay adaptation with Christopher Ford. So the synopsis goes like this. In the not too distant future, Todd Hewitt?
Same initials.
Oh, that's funny. TH and Tom Holland. Huh, that's funny. Discovers Viola, played by Daisy Ridley, a mysterious girl who crash lands on his planet where all the women have disappeared and all the men are afflicted by the noise, which is a force that puts all their thoughts on display. And in this dangerous landscape, Viola's life is threatened as Todd vows to protect her, he will have to discover his own inner power and unlock the planet's dark secrets.
Ooh.
It sounds so cool. And we of course have other photos such as Mads Mikkelsen,
which looks incredibly cool. I love that scar on his face.
He just looks really freaking cool. We have Cynthia here. We got Nick Jonas here, and we got Tom Holland. And with the swirl, I'm guessing that's kind of either him unlocking his power, or that's like the noise?
I think that's what it is. I think that's the noise.
Which I think looks pretty cool.
Because I love the fact that, yeah, what in the quick little trailer, he's like, oh my gosh, a girl. I've never seen a girl before. Sorry.
Oh, right, because it was all his thoughts coming out.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be really, really interesting, and I feel like a lot of people have been waiting forever to see this movie, and so excited to finally get the first trailer. So make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel, put the notification bell on, because we will be up early and we're actually going to catch this trailer. Sometimes we don't know when trailers are coming out, like they're not a definite time, so we don't know when to like get up and get ready, but now we know it's going to be 6 a.m. PT, so we will be up and ready. So make sure you are here for it, and our reaction will probably go up, I don't know, probably hopefully by 7 a.m. we hope.
And I love what Jack said, is the fact that it kind of looks like his Spidey sense, you know? It's kind of like his Thomas Tingle. Mm-hmm. But it was, what was it, Peter Tingle?
Peter.
We're not calling it that. We're not calling it that.
Sounds wrong. But yeah, I'm very, very excited for Chaos Walking. It looks freaking awesome. Mm-hmm. And for our next topic, we're talking about Wonder Woman 1984 streaming rumors. So let's talk about that a little bit. As we know, this year has obviously really sucked for movie releases, for movie theaters, for all the studios. Many titles have been delayed or released on VOD instead of going to theaters. So Wonder Woman 1984 has been rumored to release on streaming, but it also looks like director Patty Jenkins squashed the rumor on her own Twitter, saying direct-to-streaming is not even being discussed. And she's been very vocal about this, and she's been vocal about this movie is made for a theatrical release. But if we want to kind of unpack her tweet here for a second, it's kind of interesting to look at the wording of it. So she retweets another tweet that is saying that the film will arrive simultaneously in theater and on streaming. So like, which one is it? So is it direct to streaming or is it not direct to streaming? Because if they hit theatrical and streaming at the same time, I guess it's not then quote unquote direct to streaming if it's being released in theaters. So I feel like the tweet is a little bit confusing. She's retweeting somebody that very blatantly pointed out that Wonder Woman 1984 is going to hit theaters and streaming simultaneously, and she even says correct in her tweet, and then she says direct to streaming is not even being discussed. So I really kind of wonder exactly what this is, but I hope that they kind of do the going to theater thing and then wait a little bit and then have it hit streaming. Obviously, you and I, we won't be able to go to see it in theater, which is really sad. Like Wonder Woman was not a movie that I want to watch on our smaller TV. It is something I definitely want the big theater and the surround sound to experience. But you know, the pandemic doesn't care that I want to see a Wonder Woman movie.
I also think at this point, what a lot of these studios are trying to do is like, okay, we're obviously not going to be able to do the big budget release into theaters and make almost $1 billion kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of like, okay, so that means we still want to get some of that sweet, sweet theater money that we can wherever we can. Mm-hmm. But we also don't want to limit it. So it makes sense for them to put it out maybe at the same time, or maybe release it in theaters for like a few days and then release it out.
Yeah.
On streaming, because they much rather have people going to the theaters. But then again,
the theaters would love that too.
Now that the theaters are closing, things are changing. I don't know, because I also know that when the theaters show the movie, they don't get any of those returns for the first couple of days.
Not for the first opening weekend.
For the first opening weekend.
So they make money solely on concession.
So
I believe.
And then I think right now they know that they can make a good amount of money if they do it on streaming. They don't like how little it is, so they're trying to tweak the formula a little bit and find out, well, what if we did this and this? And it's all about money when it comes down to it. They're just trying to figure out how can we get the most money.
So they got to make it back, you know? And also for the integrity of the film as well. As you know, this is, they definitely made the movie with theatrical release in mind. No one could have predicted, I think, how bad this was going to be. So, and I think a lot writes on how Wonder Woman 1984 release this movie, if they intend to release it, because there's a lot of big tentpole movies that's going to follow suit depending on how this model does, right? We saw everybody trying different things. Like Tenet did the movie theater release thing, but it didn't make that much money, but they still stuck with the regular schedule of a traditional theatrical release and then home release. So you and I will finally get to watch Tenet soon.
Yeah.
So things like movies such as Black Widow, for example, is probably waiting in the wings to see kind of how is this going to play out for them? How is this model going to play for them? We know Soul, talking about Disney films, is going directly to Disney Plus. Mulan had a premiere, did not get a theatrical release, unfortunately, and did a PVOD version where you, even though you are a Disney Plus subscriber, we still had to pay the additional $29.99 to watch the film. And then now I believe is readily available for everybody.
Yeah, now you can get it on Disney Plus.
Yeah. So that's really interesting, and this gives us a nice segue into another bit of movie news, is that Universal is striking a deal with Cinemark to release movies to VOD early. So we know that Universal a few months ago had a deal with AMC, which is like one of the largest movie chains, and that gave them the option of putting new movies on digital just 17 days after the theatrical release instead of the traditional time period. And this kind of stirred the pot quite a bit because some movie theaters were not for it. And this is strictly just with AMC and Universal titles, not with any other movies. Are you thinking about the
huge rage tweet? This is a breach of contract, and we're not going to stand for this. We're going to void all of them. And it's like, it doesn't really matter. You're going to be out of business before we start back up again. Best
advice I've been given is don't reach tweet. Just put down your phone and don't put it on social media and walk away for a second and cool down. And then if a little bit while later you still feel the same, then you know what? It's your Twitter, it's your social media, and post away. But
I don't think there's ever anything
like
good
that,
has come out of a rage tweet.
Some drama for us to follow.
Well, true.
I'm here for the popcorn.
If you're talking about popcorn,
we're
sipping the tea.
Yeah, exactly. So now Cinemark and Universal is striking a similar deal, a little bit different. So under this one, any movies that earn more than $50 million in opening weekend ticket sales has to stay in theater for at least 31 days and or 5 weekends, equivalent to 5 weekends.
Okay.
Any other titles that don't meet that then can be made available to for VOD after 17 days.
Okay.
Which I think that maybe should have been the deal that AMC made. That's a good deal.
Yeah, it makes sense. And
make
also,
the money.
It makes it so that, hey, you know what? If the movie is not performing, it's not making any money, then, the theaters can be like, okay, you can go and put it on this VOD. Nobody's here anyways, kind of a thing.
So sad. It's going to be really, really weird the first time you and I get to go back to a movie theater, sans masks, able to, eat popcorn and do all the things without.
I think we'll probably stick with drive-ins.
For a while. Luckily, there's plenty of options.
Not until we get that vaccine shot.
Could be sooner or later. So we will see. Interesting comment by MK in the chat here. Wonder if Bob Chapek will make any big announcements about future Disney movies going to PVOD during the December 10th Investor Day call.
Oh yeah, well, that's probably when we will start getting more information too. Mm-hmm. This is when they're planning, right now they're strategizing, right now they're trying to be like, oh my gosh, how can we continue when we've lost over $4 billion?
Yes. Yeah.
Because that's how much they lost in their last quarter.
Yeah, and aren't they now talking about another round of layoffs for employees, but this time they're salaried employees this time? It's just so heartbreaking. So fingers crossed for our friends who are also Disney cast members that they are unaffected. This is, it's a hard time. I think there's currently more people that are unemployed than those who are employed.
Yep.
Which is really, really sad. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to our final topic. And we're talking about a newish trailer for the Justice League. So this is also set to the same song, which is Hallelujah. And that was released in color and black and white. And while it's very similar to the one we had seen earlier, it does feature a couple of new additions to the previous version. So there's more scenes with Cyborg, with Hippolyta or Hippolyta. I've heard it saying both ways. There's one of Aquaman fighting with like a mysterious figure, and there's also a bit of a Batmobile in action, which is basically making me pretty excited to see this 4-hour-long version of the cut of the Justice League. And I know we are getting the Joker in this one, which is going to be interesting, which makes sense. That's why that little card was flying. It's a little Easter egg. But I think for me, the scene that stood out the most, and you're saying that this is a scene that you saw previously. I don't remember it, but maybe it has been a while since I've seen it, so I'm probably wrong. But the one where kids are playing football in the street, and Cyborg is like in his hoodie up, in his apartment, his home, maybe looking down and just really, really sad, kind of looking at that. This was my life.
Yeah.
And now
football.
Look at me, like he probably feels like a little bit of a Frankenstein's monster, sort of a deal.
Maybe I remember him looking out the window scene, and I think I also remember like a quick little shot of them playing football. I mean, I'm already super excited for seeing this 4-hour-long version of Justice League, to see what the true vision was of Zack Snyder. I just kind of was perplexed on why they pretty much released pretty much the exact same trailer with only a few little changes here or there.
Teases. It's called, I think it was called like the teaser trailer update or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's to like a nice little reminder of like, hey, it's coming, because it is coming.
But it's not coming until January of
next year.
Right? So we still have at least 2 months before it does come out. And they'll probably release a bigger trailer.
Yes, exactly.
In December, and then something new like a week before, 2 weeks before it comes out.
I really don't feel like they need the marketing at this point. I think everybody knows, but I think it's also it's nice to see that they are. I think it's a way to acknowledge that, hey, we are working on this. We want to give you something good. Keep your eyes peeled. Don't forget about us. No one's gonna forget about them. Okay, and Pardee says it's not January, but it is sometime in 2021.
Oh, okay. So they haven't actually. Okay. Well, I guess that's kind of the way. Probably one of the reasons why they're putting it out now is because they are trying to still. What?
I don't know if that's right. I just Googled it and it says September 5th, 2021. That's a long time away.
If it's
why?
Truly September 5th.
Yeah.
Then I'm kind of like, okay, then what was the point of this right now? Showing us show us the exact same trailer, maybe like in like a month or two from now.
Maybe because the fans are asking for it. Maybe the fans are tweeting at him and they're saying, what's the status? What's the update? And
we're still shooting some shots.
And Zack Snyder, he's acknowledged it many times in various panels, specifically in the DC fandom and I think it was like the Justice Con, that the fans wanted this so much, the fan made this possible. So he wants to make sure that he's acknowledging like, hey, we hear you, maybe the fans want something, and then he was like, here's something little, without completely unveiling everything he's been working on, because it is still kind of top secret. So we will see. Pardee says, I'm thinking we'll get the month sometime in December, a whole year from now.
Oh, wow. That's insane. Yeah,
that's so much later than I expected.
It's almost like, I guess when you're trying to pretty much do all of these pickup shots,
I really
work
wanted
around
it to be January.
Really get a lot of these things together. It's pretty much like you're putting together the whole movie over again.
Yeah, honestly.
I'm curious to see what happens, because I cannot believe how much blood, sweat, and tears has gone into making sure that this happens.
Yeah. So waiting for, a lot of people are doing reshoots. We're thinking that we're going to get to see Deathstroke as well in this, which is super, fingers crossed, super, super, super exciting. And what I liked about the newest trailer is kind of just more detailed looks at the updated Steppenwolf, at Darkseid.
I can't believe how good Darkseid looks and how much better Steppenwolf looks. He looks just meaner. He just looks more.
He doesn't give like that, like the slimy skin kind of a look, how he could look a little bit shiny, a little bit like, I don't know how to explain it.
I really didn't like the way that Steppenwolf looked in the original Justice League release.
Yeah.
I really like the way he looks now. He just looks a lot more menacing and a lot more like a minion of Darkseid. So to where he looks tough, he looks mean, whereas the one that was released in theaters was he almost looked a little bit more like a
a little bit of Ares from Wonder Woman in the final scene.
I still thought the way he looked was Ares looked in the final scene.
I loved everything else about that movie with the exception of the final form of Ares. I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
MK says Steppenwolf has grumpy cat face in the still. Oh no, that's now that's all I'm gonna see. Grumpy cat.
Oh my gosh, I want to see someone out there.
Someone make it.
Take a picture of Steppenwolf and CGI a face of Grumpy Cat on there. And I'm just like, that's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah. This hair. And Jack is asking, will we get a closer look at the battle with the lanterns?
I would love to see that.
The Amazons. Yeah. We will see. Fingers
Probably.
crossed. Look, it's a 4-hour event. I think we're gonna,
imagine every single scene is now extended. So I mean, and then you'll still have 2 hours of additional footage.
Reshoots, new footage. Very, very exciting. We can't wait. There's a lot of good stuff coming up. In the meantime, while you're here, thank you all so much for tuning in to today's live stream. We are going to try and do a little bit of video game streaming as well on our Twitch channel, which is just twitch.tv/themoviecouple. We're going to be playing Luigi's Mansion 3. Still looking for those gems. Going to explore that maybe a little bit later this evening. We do have some stuff
looking forward to it
to do today, so fingers crossed. That is the plan. So if you haven't joined us on Twitch, go ahead and do that today. And also while you're here, if you enjoy the show and all the topics we talked about today, give this video a thumbs up. Really helps us a lot here on YouTube. And if you like our content as far as reaction videos and movie reviews goes, follow us and subscribe and do all the YouTube stuff. So you guys, thank you so much for watching. Yes.
One quick thing before we do sign off. I just saw Jack post something down in the chat, and he's like, post credit, and I was like, at a question mark, and I'm like, that's actually a really good question. You would think that since a lot of the previous Justice League had a post credit scene in it, that this one might. But honestly, I don't think anything in the future is going to be based 100% off of things that we see in the Snyder Cut. So I don't think there's going to be anything to actually tease about or to get fans excited for. So I don't think, my guess, if I had to place money on, is that there's not going to be a post-credit scene.
I don't think it needs it.
Yeah, because it's all about
4 hours.
It's all about the original vision that Zack Snyder had for this movie.
Exactly.
So, and that's what I think everyone is truly excited about.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a fun, I think it's like weekly. It'll be a fun 4 weeks at least to kind of like be excited and all that stuff. So, well, you guys, that's the end of our stream. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you on Saturday for another live stream. Bye.